and our big Rastafari family. I call her Mamatuli. You see, this little daughter is going to sing a song that she made by herself. Look at her. How small is this child? But she has a melody that is bigger than any big-time musician, and she's going to lead a song that she wrote by herself tonight, and we, the choir, will join in with her. Come, Mama. Enough respect to Mama. Do for you. Anywhere you go and you hear about Nyabinghi Choir, this is what you must see. If you don't see this Nyabinghi Choir, King Alpha, Queen Amigo, together forever. If you don't see this banner, it is not the Nyabinghi Choir. Hold it up, sisters. If you don't see this banner, Nyabinghi Choir, together forever, it is not the Nyabinghi Choir. We are represented by the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the conquering lion of the tribe of Judah, the elect of himself, and the light of this world. I own divine majesty. Emperor Haile in Rastafari. So the sisters, they're going to hold this banner and they're going to sing Psalms 25. And then we will see them on the King's Highway and give it over to our beloved guests to take from there on. Rastafari, are you ready for the last sound, your people? The first sound? Yes.
Not be ashamed and let the enemies triumph over.
The moment that you all been waiting for. Silence our guests. We already introduced most of them to the eye, but we get some more addition to the number. Another brother is here. Callis. I don't know if you call his name right, but he's one of the film producers. But I will ask Sister Yahshantiwa. Sister Yahshantiwa, will you please rise, my daughter, to take care of this one? Mama B don't know how to really bring on VIP guests. So I'm giving over to Sister Yahshantiwa to do the rest of the work for Mama B. Give thanks to the Most High. Emperor Haile, Selassie, King Rastafari. So far I say, God bless you all people. Enjoy the rest of your show. Live joy, for God love all of us. Rastafari, sing.
My good and our presence is fire and I, brethren and sisters, to give thanks unto the Most High. Jah, Rastafari, King Selassie the first. As I'm sitting here, I'm laughing, and the ones might be thinking, why is Sister Yahshantiwa so full of joy? Last strong we were in Johannesburg, and I was speaking to this brother here. And I said to this brother, if anything must happen on our tour in Cape Town, Mama B must be involved. Because no matter what happens, no matter what one wants to say, when the elder is in our midst, it is truly a blessing for I and I. So today it is a blessing that Rastafari can help to celebrate this tour. It is a blessing that Rastafari can continue to be the custodian, the protector of Africa's spirituality. Haile. We are here on a tour from Johannesburg, from last strong. We've been in the universities in Johannesburg since Tuesday of last week. Professor Brother Haile Gerima from Ethiopia, now living in Washington DC, has come out to talk about his film, the one you see here, Sankofa. He has been talking with the ones and ones in Johannesburg about why he's done Sankofa, what is the message about Sankofa, what is the meaning of Sankofa. And tonight, if the island will listen, I personally, Mama B, will make sure that whomever is going to the Labia, whoever is going to Labia will win one prize from me, and that will be all the taxi fare from here to Labia and back. If you can tell me after the talk what Sankofa means, I'll personally pay for the transport. Rastafari. The tour is really just to bring African film about African people back to African communities. And so this is why Brother Muta is not here to do any show or is here to do any big performance, but to really sit down and reason on where we need to go as African people to rewrite our history and to set the record straight. I was reasoning with Brother Haile Garima that it's by chance and on Rastafari works that I come to be in the midst of two great African brothers. I happened to go to their office talking about Rastafari because with another Rasta sister. And they called Mutabaruka's name, and I said anywhere Mutabaruka's name, we must also be involved in that name. And I found out that Sankofa was going to be shown, and I said to them, I don't need you to pay me to move around to make sure that Sankofa reach every young child, African child in South Africa. And praise His Majesty Haile Selassie. Tonight I really feel the joy to know that with just my spirit and my faith in His Majesty, I can travel so many miles on a plane, on bus, in car with Haile Gerima and Mutabaruka. So let us just praise His Majesty. Haile! And as I bring Professor Haile Gerima, brother Haile Gerima, in Ethiopian we say Ato. Haile Gerima. Alright, we don't want to use too much of the professor thing, right? Because he burned fire on that. So it's Atto Haile. I just want to remind you why you're here, and it comes through a poem by Jan Van Zandt, and it's been my stronghold when I think about Sankofa. The ancients knew the connection between man and the divine. The ancients knew that buried beneath the irate's perceptions and self-imposed limitation, there lies a spirit of unlimited possibility. They knew that you chose with your thoughts the shape and the form of your life. You create with your words the conditions that you will face. You limit with your fear the coming forth of your desires. You destroy with your blame the direction of your destiny. The ancient one knew that only with diligent maintenance of the mind and emotions would man and woman master his or her destiny. And tonight, because the blood of the ancient ones runs through your veins, you have the same knowledge. You have chosen the ability to be what you want in the place you may choose. Simply, brethren and sistren, let us begin to follow the irate of I and I within. Praise His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie and Rastafari. So Rastafari, Marcus Garvey, the Nyabinghi house of Marcus Garvey, stand and rise, because what you're looking at here tonight is something that we will never be able to celebrate again. It is a living legend, a man who is not paid by Hollywood, a man who makes his own money, who makes his own movie, who talks about African movie the way how he wants it, who talks about African culture the way how he sees it. Atto Haile Gerima.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you, Mama B. Thank you, Sister Yahshantiwa. Thank you, Mama. I just want to say that I'm really very, very happy to be here, especially to see how Mama B and the whole community celebrates Africa, and not alone but with the young people. And I hope that the young people will understand that one, I hope you see the film with your parents, and that I hope you also learn at least one thing in the film, and that all of us need to be history makers. Especially young people should learn that they too matter, that they are important, and that they are going to be history makers. I think this is what Africa needs, that we need to be individually responsible to be history makers, not spectators, not people who watch other people make history. And that's what Sankofa means. Sankofa means that I might be confused. I might not know what I am, where I am. I might be in the whole process of trying to define myself, but without the past, I will never know my present, where I stand, nor would I know the future. That is what Sankofa means. Sankofa means in order to go forward, you don't jump from where you stand, you go a little back. You pull every energy the ancestors have left for you in order to go forward. That is the kind of idea we need to cultivate around in the brains of our children, because the media is so white, the television is so white, and it's so against us. It paralyzes our ability, our capacity to be history makers. And so my young brothers and my young sisters, I want you to know something, that you First know yourself, who you are, and then grab that moment to be a history maker. And then the other thing is, we will never make history if we're not disciplined individually. Individual discipline is very critical to make history. And so, what is responsibility? What is discipline? Discipline is taking care of oneself, studying a great deal, understanding, and critically understanding, and then grab the moment of that capacity that I too can make history, and I'm going to define a world I want. And so Sankofa is made with that idea, an idea that says we don't have to wait for other people to make our cultural diet. We need to make our own salad bar of ideas. Especially if people are too hostile, too racist of us. Why do we want them to make our television, our film, our story? Why do we want to make them tell our story? Therefore, these young boys and girls have to be the future storytellers. And without us rewriting the story of Africa, we will never be free. Thank you very, very much.
Without us rewriting our history, someone else will always write our history for us. And so the problem we're facing right now is that some man, some devil out there is writing his story, and we spending so much hours studying another man's story. Haile Gerima is here to tell us that it is possible. In the poem, I keep on reminding you that it is because all this greatness of Africa runs through our veins. Everything is possible. So we're not going to sit down and dream about the Africa of old. We need to relive and put in place the Africa of today. And it's not going to come about by dreaming. Haile Gerima in one of his stories says, when he was asked by a student, but how do African filmmakers make films? He says, you must first dream as an African. Your dreams must be African dreams. You can't be writing a story about New York and want to say you're an African filmmaker. You must first begin to dream the African way. So I give thanks that today he could really speak to the item to hear. Our tour is just another leg. We'll be heading for Durban now. Mabatu, the Rastafari brethren and sistren in Mabatu is hosting Haile Garima and the film. Right? So that I can learn more about what happened in slavery, what happened to African people, which by the way, this man here sitting here called Callis can tell you for a fact. Today we were in the museum and it showed us where 170 slaves were here in Cape Town. And there was a whole stretch of years, about 200 years of slave history in Cape Town. And for so long, South Africans have been thinking that slavery never existed in this part of the world. So we come to mash down that lie and to prove that slavery is not a Jamaican or Barbados experience. Slavery is an African experience. Haile Rastafari. So at this time, again, it is my humble honor, and again, I just praise His Majesty for being so good to I, because it is the works with clean hands and a pure heart that He puts on blessings unto you. So you can't sit in this audience and have a carnal mind. You can't sit in this audience and have a bad intention. You can't sit in this audience and have your belly grinding with jealousy and hatred for your sisters and your brothers. Because I stand here to prove that with clean hands, with love for Rastafari and the people who follow His Majesty, today to travel, to be able to see the item once again, to be able to see in the highest places of South Africa, waving His Majesty flags. I said it is with clean hands. And I don't know why Rastafari is leading me to say this, but I'm saying, free up your irate Rastafari, brethren and sistren, because we are the spiritual protectors of the African people, and you can't do that if your mind is dirty. And you can't do that if your heart is not pure. And you cannot do that if your hands are funny and doing funny things. So I just praise Rastafari that He brought those words to me. So whoever it is that he or she's supposed to get it free up, because His Majesty is real. At this time, we bring to us in this time, as you know, African people have always celebrated their gods. African people have always celebrated their goddesses. We don't wait for our God to come out of heaven so that we know that within our midst we are gods and goddesses. Always have been and will be. And in this midst now we have what you call in West Africa a griot. The storyteller of storytellers. The possessed Rastafari storyteller of this time. Our children and our grandchildren will remember in dignity and in pride the man they call Mutabaruka. Get up, Gargos Garvey, and welcome our griot, Rastafari.
The architect and foundation of life. You know that 4 years ago we came to this place. We don't know how much of you was here, but we was here, and we left here angry and vexed. I don't know if anyone remember that, but the last time we was here, we left here crying, in tears, and we say, why we not come down your back? Because when we talk, it come like the Rasta man them scared a Rasta woman power. Because every time we declare the Rasta woman power, the Rasta man them vex. And we tell my brethren say, no, them not ready to hear Mutabaruka, because Mutabaruka have to defend the Rasta woman in this time. We have to declare that. Because every time we see Haile Selassie, we see him with Empress Menin. And it is Empress Menin. It is Empress Menin that we declare in authority. And most Rastaman, because he's so embedded in religion, because he's so embedded in Judeo-Christian concepts, he become like the same people that he is firing against. A lot of Rastaman, we have heard, oppressed women, and a lot of people out there who are not Rastas, they believe that Rasta is a sexist doctrine, because when they look on the female, they feel that the Rastas are behaving and reacting to women just as the same people that they call Babylon. No, we come and we understand Rastafari from Jamaica. And we know that Rastafari is an experience. So each territory responds to Rastafari different. But the name is still Rastafari. So one man see Rastafari in New York City, and his experience is different. And next man see Rastafari out of the hills and of Jamaica, and his experience is different. And the next man, see Rastafari in South Africa, and his experience is different. So each man is articulating Rastafari in a different way. But the experience sometimes coordinate, because the one name that is declared by the Rasta in New York and the Rasta in Jamaica and the Rasta in South Africa is Haile Selassie I, Rastafari. So we have to come to an understanding, even though the experience is different, but there's something more than just saying Rastafari that have to connect us. There's something just more than just saying Haile Selassie I that have to connect us. Now, people out there have a lot of things to say against Haile Selassie. We know all the things that people say about and against Haile Selassie. But we want to tell you this, and this is one thing that no man I have connected to and have spoken to can deny, that Rastafari, the thinking and the theology of Rastafari is very unique to the Western world. It is unique because we have taken out of Africa a man, an African man, and declared God Almighty. And that is a very bold move for our former slaves to do. When a people is enslaved, and they can use an African man and rise up themselves out of that slavery bondage, that is something to be praised and to hail. So we don't business what these people who is telling us that Haile Selassie is this and Rastafari is that and Haile Selassie is this. We Rastafari who rise up in Jamaica, we don't have no church. Yet still Rastafari, and this is not me saying this, I have heard and I have read big magazines that says in the 70 years of the coming of Rastafari faith, it has influenced more people on earth than Judaism, Christianity and Islam in its 70 years of advent. What is that saying? It is saying that in 70 years of Christianity, from 4 AD until now, until 70 years, whenever Christianity started, in 70 years of Judaism and in 70 years of Islam, the three of them combined did not influence so much people all over the world in the 70 years that I and I there saw as a Rastafari. So that is saying a lot because we do have no church. We use everything at our disposal to declare black power, African consciousness, and a theology that is unique to Rasta and to black people in the Western world. So a lot of people say, Haile Selassie is this and Haile Selassie is that. And then we say to them, yes, Haile Selassie is this and Haile Selassie is that. But we Rastafari out of Jamaica has defied European concept of God. We have created a God in Africa that no person or people in the Western world could have done in the situation and conditions that we found ourselves in Jamaica. So if we come and we declare, and I heard Haile say something the other day, he says that we must be able to be wrong in our own ideas, to be right. And we are saying we are carried further. We Rastafari, no matter what the world wants to say, no matter how much theologian want to prescribe and ascribe the wrongness of Rastafari, none of these theologians and none of these people who is declaring Rastafari stupid can truly tell us that what we are saying don't have no validity. Because we are not, and we refuse to be validated by white supremacy mentality of who or what is God. Because over the years, They have taught us that God is in the sky. Over the years, they tell us that Jesus Christ is going to come and save we. This white guy, who we don't even know if he did exist or not. This illusion that there's a God up in the sky that one day will come and save us from white people oppression. We Rastafari has defied all of those concepts. After 7 years of saying this thing, we have risen to no church. But everything that is at our disposal, through the liberty, we Rastafari from Jamaica, most of us have never been unfortunate to be in Ethiopia. Yet still we have created an Ethiopia all over the world that not even Ethiopians did. Not even Ethiopians did for Ethiopia what Rastafari have done for Ethiopia in this time. And this is not no flaunting. This is not no flaunting, this is a reality. A little island named Jamaica, which is only 52 miles wide. 52 miles wide and 144 miles long, has given the world a music that defies music. When reggae started, them say we're playing the music backwards. Them say we're playing the music in reverse. But we were not concerned with how the music was played because we were defying the laws of music. Because when them sent us to school to learn about Tchaikovsky and Mozart and things, we was eating jumpan round the back of the house and creating a music that is distinct, that everybody in the world right now is recording reggae music. And reggae music has become the defiant music of all. When we say all now, we're talking about black people, white people, Indian people, all sorts of people use reggae music when they are trying to express the oppression that they feel in their environment. They use the rhythm, the drum and the bass of reggae music to expose that oppression in their environment. And we know that the greatest exponents of reggae music is Rasta. So Rasta did not only come with a theology that defies Western ideas of what God is supposed to be, but we come with a social, militant word sound that shaped the whole world when it comes on to music. When everybody was singing about Jesus Christ and Jesus Christ, we was talking about burn down Babylon. And that echo right over the world. It echo right over the world. And these are some people, even like myself, who never got to know university. We never got to know university. We sit down on the corner and in the street and reason with each other. And we try to articulate and examine things, and we question things. Because most of us who come up, we never start being Rasta. We was ordinary human beings living in Jamaica who do the exact things like everybody else do. We run up and down with teeth, we rap, we play marble, we look woman. I mean, we do everything. When you have pork, when you have this, when you have all sorts of things, we never create as Rasta. But because of examination, because of the need to understand self, we relate to self as a very important part of this transformation. So we come with this message to the brethren and sisters them in South Africa, that we know of the oppression of white supremacy that still exists in South Africa. And we know that a lot of ones here now, the only reason, because it happened to me too, the only reason why we don't do certain things, and you know the certain things what we're talking about, the only reason why we don't do certain things in Jamaica is because of the mentality that we have in Rastafari. Because if it wasn't for Rastafari, some serious thing would have gone in Jamaica. If it it wasn't for Rastafari, would have done some serious thing in Jamaica. But it's true, we understand the power of culture. And that is the weapon that Rastafari have been using over the years. Because up to now we don't fire no gun against Babylon. We don't try to make no weapons of mass destruction. We don't tie no bomb for ourselves and blow up no building. But we have a thing named culture. The Rastafari culture is a very potent thing. And we have to understand that. We have to understand how Rastafari, in his philosophy, has used culture to dominate the whole heap of people them that Rastafari has dominated in their poverty. When a man is in poverty, when a man is in the worst filth, and he can look and say, I am Rastafari, you know, and make people vex. That people don't want to give no work. People start afraid of you because you call up on one name, Rastafari. There was a time in Jamaica when I and I couldn't even walk on the streets of Kingston. People used to grab me and cut off the locks with buckle. People broke buckle and cut off the locks. Police hold you and beat you and lock you up. And now we go to New York City and we see Rastafari dreadlocks from Billboard. We see it in Times Square. We look on the TV, we see Rastafari locks head people. I flash them locks all on the TV. We see white woman now hold on for Rasta locks. Like it's them God or them heaven or something. This is something that was despised. But we read and we hear that the stone that the builder refused become the head of the corner. So when an intellectual, when a guy come with all him theological reasoning, and we say, here they are, Rastafari, and say, oh my God, man, you're stupid. How can a man be God? We have always, as African people, seen men and women as gods and goddesses. All while, we never stop saying that. We never stop saying that at all. As a matter of fact, we were more talking about female gods.
Right.
And now, when we look at the whole dynamics of the thing, because we establish ourselves, we have established ourselves all over the world. Rastafari is here to stay. No doubt about that. No matter what they want to say, Rastafari, they have to stay. They could have balled blood a little more, they could have said, I just lost a dead little more. Rastafari, they have to stay. Because look here, you know, long ago they said Jesus Christ dead. 2,000 years ago they said Jesus Christ dead. And Christianity is still there. So they could have said, I just lost a dead little more. That's not going to stop Rastafari. I remember in 1975, when I used to walk, when I heard on the radio that Emperor Haile Selassie died, when we walk on the streets of Kingston, people used to say, see there, Uno God dead. What never do know, Uno God dead. And we still a track. And man I say, yeah man, all the talk about Haile Selassie of God. See there, he's dead, them kill him. That was from 1975. Now it's year 2003, and there's more Rasta upon the earth right now than in 1975. So Rastafari has defied even the antagonism of men and people telling us that our God dead. The reason why they declare that Haile Selassie, our God, dead, is because they are still looking through the eyes of Europeans about defining God. They're still looking through European eyes. All conscious. I used to hear some communists in Jamaica, cuss Rasta escapists, who not talk about Marcus Garvey. You know, Marcus Garvey dead poor at England and all these things. And now I come to see the same communists talking about black nationalism and Pan-Africanism. When we tell them, say, Marcus Garvey is the greatest black man come out of the Western world, they used to say, Marcus Garvey is an escapist. He's talking about a place that has no real significance to our capitalist and proletarian and bourgeoisie society. And I say, okay, and now we see that these people has come full cycle to the Rastafari mind that tells us that Marcus Garvey is the foundation of Pan-Africanism today and yesterday and will be forever, because there will never be another Marcus Garvey. So when Rastaman was walking up and down on the streets of Kingston and saying, Marcus Garvey, the people them look one way and say, "You're stupid." And we say, all right, Marcus Garvey is our black nationalist, our political leader. The people them laugh after we, because they say Marcus Garvey dead poor. Yet still no black man on earth come and do what Marcus Garvey do. From 1920, Marcus Garvey have 20 million people in an organization named the UNIA. Marcus Garvey started a shipping line. Marcus Garvey have his own army. Marcus Garvey have a whole heap of things. No black man since Marcus Garvey has done what Marcus Garvey has done. And we heal Marcus Garvey and them say we are idiots. Alright, so we build up a theology for ourselves. We build a theology for ourselves. We build a God, we create a God in Africa for ourselves. And they say, oh, no idiot, see there, we no God dead and all these things. Well, I tell you something, white man God will not save us from white man oppression. And I must be able to be wrong for choosing my God. And if I am wrong, then I will find the right. But so far, I have not seen the alternative to Haile Selassie I and his wife Empress Many. No way. These black people who profess Christianity, who profess Islam, who profess all of these Judeo-Christian Islamic consciousness, these black people who follow Marx, who follow Lenin, who follow all these white people, they have not been able to substitute what I and I saying for the redemption and liberation of black people, both theologically and socially, because they have not defined themselves through their own eyes. It's either them have an Arab name and say them conscious, or them go to a white man named Jesus Christ, who them don't know nothing about, or them follow a guy named Marx, who was a German Jew, and it don't appear no significance to I and I, no resemblance to I and I. So we will continue healing Haile Selassie I and his wife Empress Many, because we say this is what is taking us out of this filth and this pit. And no matter how it look to them, no matter how it look to them, and it will always look away to them, we know and we understand that ancient, you talk about Sankofa, going back, there's a genetic memory. I want you to listen to me carefully. There's a genetic memory in Rastafari that even Rastafari still don't even understand what is taking place to him when he declare Africa and Haile Selassie. And this genetic memory is this. Before Europeans and before Arabs come to Africa, we were celebrating gods and goddesses in Ethiopia, in Africa, in Egypt. Now, we create mythologies. We create mythologies. Now, mythology is just a way of clouding an experience. You use mythology because you don't want to use the real thing. So you use metaphors and you use language to explain a real situation.
Give thanks to Rasmuta for this Iowa. I and I will be moving now, but I gather from Mama B that it is a time for the item to just feel the joy and to full joy what is going on here. I think it's a time for Rasta sisters to begin to find and redefine ourselves in Rastafari, and we won't apologize. I think it's time for Rasta women, princesses and empresses to know their responsibilities in Rastafari. And do not be afraid to carry it out. That's what Muta is saying. Rasta daughters of the Nyabinghi, you are too quiet. Your children are not firm in their nutrition. Your children are not firm in their irate because we are busily thinking about what the man is doing. So all Muta is saying as Rasta empresses, spend time for yourself to strengthen yourself. You see me? No one can say anything to me about Mama B. No one can come and describe Mama B to I and make me